A man should look for what is and not for what he thinks should be. Albert Einstein. Truth you can check, it is as matter of fact as the ground and as useful as food. It's the kind of truth that can make hate and war as unnecessary as ignorance. Charles Darwin revealed how evolution works, but not what it really means. Evolution is no longer just a theory, it has been proven true beyond a reasonable doubt. The problem is, even people who believe evolution is true disassociate themselves from the process. They somehow skipped all the lower forms of animal life and just started out at the top of the evolutionary ladder. The evidence says we evolved as life evolved. Human beings did not just appear at the top of the evolutionary ladder to reap the benefits of those millions of years of evolution without having to live through it. In other words, you were those other animals. Someone had to be them. You had to be lower animals to be a human now. You lived as all the different animals in your evolutionary line. You lived through millions of years, and millions of lives and deaths to get to where you are now. That's what Darwin's book means. In addition to the fossil evidence, the genetic code proves that all animals, including us, evolved from bacteria over the last 700 million years on Earth. In other words, you were a microbe, an insect, a fish, a dinosaur, an ape. When all of the evidence, 100%, says something happened, and there is no evidence, 0, that anything else could have happened, it is the truth beyond a reasonable doubt to honest, rational people. We have come a very, very long way, but we have a little further to go. The next and last step in our evolution is learning and accepting the truth of life, and this includes acknowledging our true past. The truth will free us from the animal world we all evolved from. 1. Immortality. It is impossible to be conscious of being unconscious. It is not possible to be aware of being unconscious from your own perspective. You cannot be aware of not being aware. You can be less aware/conscious, such as when you are asleep, but not completely unconscious, dead, because time would stand still for you. A billion years could pass, and you would not know it. How do you know you are dead? It is not possible to be aware of any gaps in life, it is continuous and never-ending from your own point of view. Death and birth are a continuous event from your own perspective. You will die physically, but you will be born into a new physical body. Being born happens, or you would not be here now. You were born into this life. It is what we know happens. There is no evidence anything else happens. True or false? The you only live once theory. Many people say that they do not believe in reincarnation, they believe when you die, you're dead. What about fish, clams, horses, bears, flies? People that say you only live once are saying some souls get to live just one life as a worm, and that is it for all of eternity. Other people believe you are judged by a god after you die. Is the worm judged? Many people think human beings are the only animal that is conscious. Is a dog or cat conscious? Where do you draw the line? Is a bird conscious? The truth is, all animal life is conscious and alive just like us. Point 1. The only thing that makes humans different from other animals is that we have a mind that can think and reason at a high enough level to know the truth of life, and those that know rise above animals. It is time to see and accept the truth the evidence supports. You are immortal, it is impossible to not be, because it is impossible to be conscious of being unconscious. Just that one sentence proves it. It is like these sentences. It is impossible for it to be light and dark at the same time, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. They are simple, but certain facts. The sentence "it is impossible to be conscious of being unconscious" is a simple and certain fact. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another. Albert Einstein. Like energy, consciousness cannot be created or destroyed. This revelation will change your life. Now you know where you come from and what you have been doing for about 500 million years, evolving. The next question is, how does life work and what is next? And we can know that too. People are trying to understand the universe independent of consciousness, and it is the most important factor in the equation. The universe as it relates to conscious life can be understood now. It is the ultimate truth, the truth that will transform mankind and the world. 2. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Fab equals FBA. People do not realize what Isaac Newton's third law of motion really means. Everything is balanced. Everything physical, matter/energy, goes back and forth in balanced circles, cycles, or the equivalent. Birth-death, old-young, big-small, strong-weak, start-stop, up-down, rich-poor, beginning-end, fast-slow, hot-cold, pain-pleasure, win-lose, day-night, full-empty, high-low, in-out, success-failure, united-divided, give-receive, creation-destruction, on-off, positive-negative, etc. Positive and negative forces moving in balance are the physical universe. There are no exceptions to the laws of nature Newton revealed. They apply to all matter and energy. Human beings are matter and energy, thus you and all humans are governed by the same laws. Luck, good luck and bad luck are the balance in action and the way the balance most affects our lives. Luck is manifested on many levels. There is the day-to-day luck, from little things like getting a good parking space or a bad one, to big things, such as winning the lottery or finding out you have cancer. Then there is the long-term luck. You are lucky if you are born with good looks, money, health, talent, and intelligence. You are unlucky if you are born unattractive, poor, sickly, and without talent or intelligence. Most people are in between the extremes, but it does not matter, because we are immortal, and it will all balance out. Luck will move back and forth, everyone will get equal amounts of good and bad luck. What goes around comes around. Everyone gets their turn. Death is the great equalizer. If you are born with advantages, you can have more good times than bad times in your life, but when you die, you are reborn with disadvantages, and have more bad times than good times and vice versa. In the long run, no one has it better or worse than anyone else does, because life will always balance eventually. It is the known nature of the universe we live in. If you flip a coin 1,000 times, it will come up heads about half the time and tails about half the time. The odds of random events are predictable. This is why Las Vegas always makes a profit on gambling year after year. You can see the truth if you look at the big picture. You will see that random events are predictable because they balance. It's a fundamental truth of life everyone knows, but ignores. This is why on the 4th of July, about 162 people will be killed in auto accidents, and every 4th, about the same amount are killed. An average of 12 auto accidents happen every minute. About 6,000 teenagers are killed in auto accidents every year in the US. About 4 million people are bitten by dogs. Why is the number about the same every year? Everything is determined, the beginning as well as the end, by forces over which we have no control. It is determined for insects as well as for the stars. Human beings, vegetables, or cosmic dust, we all dance to a mysterious tune, intoned in the distance. Albert Einstein. Destiny, not being in control does not mean our future is predestined. No one knows the future cannot be known. Anything can happen. The only thing we can be certain of is that it will be balanced. The good news is, all of the best things are going to happen to you. The bad news is, so will all of the worst things, if you do not learn the truth. Consequences, people may think, if everything is balanced, then it does not matter what you do. That is true, if you want to continue living in the savage animal realm. If you want to evolve past the animal realm, to a realm where there is no fear, pain, or death, you have to learn and spread the truth of life. You have to live as a spiritual being. If you live like an animal, you will continue to be one. 3. The greatest present, for the first time in history, the first time in our 700 million years on this planet, we can know life, know what we are, where we come from, and where we are going. We have to take advantage of this brief opportunity. It has been a long time coming and will be a long time gone. This book will give you the power to change our present course to one that leads to a place without pain, fear, or suffering, a place some Western religions call heaven. Keep reading. New and different revelations about life are not easy to accept. Do not let the things you disagree with stop you from reading further. Many of the things you do not agree with or understand when you first read them will make sense after you read more of the book. Do not skip around, it needs to be read in order to make sense. It is a small book, 101 pages, that does not take much time to read. It is worth it. Sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they are presented with evidence that works against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It would create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable, called cognitive dissonance. And because it is so important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and even deny anything that doesn't fit in with the core belief. Frantz Fanon. Cognitive dissonance. Get to know these two words. It is the unseen enemy of mankind. It does more to cause war, crime, and suffering than anything else, because it prevents people from learning and changing. If you are ready to overcome your cognitive dissonance and learn the truth of life, keep reading. The first 3 pages of this book are a game changer, because they are true. The problem is, most people cannot see the truth of life. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. Henry David Thoreau. When you see the truth for the first time, it is what people call a peak moment, or a moment of clarity. You get a larger percentage of what each moment of life actually contains. You are filled with life. Your mind is the gatekeeper of life, and sometimes it lets a little true life in, but most of the time it does not. Figure 1 shows how mankind currently perceives life. Figure 2 shows true life. The arrows represent life coming to you from all directions. The dotted line shows how your mind blocks most of the life coming to you. Without the mind blocking life, you receive all of life, true life, and reflect it all back out. Seeing Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon for the first time is a peak moment for most people. Why does it make you feel so alive? Nothing really happens to you. Why doesn't it feel as good the second time you see it? You are seeing the same thing. The reason is, your mind opens up when something is special. The truth is, every moment of life is special, and you can be completely open to life most of the time. You have to see the truth to see true life. 4. The obvious is that which is never seen until someone expresses it simply. Khalil Gibran. The truth of life does not change anything in life except people's minds. Things stay the same. The truth just removes the unnecessary suffering, conflict, and confusion from life. The truth about life is actually very simple, it is just hard to see for the first time. Life, it all boils down to how you feel from moment to moment, how often you feel good and how often you feel bad, and it will be balanced like everything else physical. Your infinite past was balanced, and your infinite future will be too, unless you change from a physical being into a spiritual being. To change into a spiritual being, you just have to know the truth, which changes your point of view and your perspective of life so that you start to live your life as a spiritual being. Our life does not have to be just 50-50 like the physical world, because our spiritual self, our immortal self, is not physical and does not need to be balanced to exist. Our physical environment cannot fundamentally change, but we can. You just have to know it to do it. Nothing is going to make any real difference in your life except separating yourself from the balanced physical world. It can and will change everything. The truth reveals that you do not need to experience the bad to have the good. The bad will still happen, but you will perceive it differently. Good/bad, when you know the truth, you take the two sides of life, the good and bad side, and see them as one whole. You do this by understanding what the balancing force means. It means all bad times will pass and be compensated for by an equal amount of good times. It also means all good times will pass and be paid for with an equal amount of bad times. It will always balance. When you know the truth, you will enjoy the good times more and still avoid a bad time when you can, but when you cannot, the knowledge of the balance helps you get through the bad times. This is because knowing that the worse it gets, the better it will be, makes bad times almost enjoyable. More importantly, it centers your perspective of life. You see both sides of life, whole life, true life. You do not get just 50/50ths, you get 100%. The knowledge of the balance takes away your reasons to be mad, sad, hate, worry, envy, be disappointed. It takes away all negative emotions and feelings. It removes all stress and negative mind-made feelings from your life. The mind starts disappearing, and true life starts appearing. As the mind gets smaller, life gets bigger. As the mind shrinks, life expands. When the mind disappears completely, your perception of life becomes clear. Eventually, you will only think when you have to, which is not very often. You will be able to accept the present of life, no matter what is happening. You change into a new being, a spiritual being, and you become the present, the eternal now. 5. We want to expand our life, not expand our minds as they did in the 1960s. The more you live in the present, the more fulfilling life gets. Time will slow down, you will see the magic and wonder of life you saw as a child, and you will experience it without the ignorance and all the negative emotions of childhood. Soon, you will be able to see life better than a child sees it or any animal has ever seen it. You will see the real world, an enchanted world. Your two selves. Most people are not aware of the fact that they have two different selves. You have a mind and a spirit, consciousness, and though they seem like one thing, they are separate. The way to realize that this is true is to realize that something has to be listening to the thoughts created by your mind. What is it that hears your thoughts? There is the part of you that thinks and the part that hears the thoughts. The thinking part is your mind, the part that hears the thoughts is your spiritual self. You do not actually hear thoughts through your ears, because your mind is already inside your head. The point is, your spiritual self receives the things the mind creates in a similar way to hearing them. Check it out, just ask yourself, what is it that is hearing the thoughts you are thinking right now? It is your spiritual self, the same thing that receives all life. As shown in the drawing, mankind is currently living as their mind self, and as a result, does not know their spiritual self. Know thyself, as Socrates said. You have to know true life to know your true self. Perspective and perception, the same world is perceived differently by a frog and a cat and a dog and a human, a child and an adult, a woman and a man. You see something different than I do. All perspectives are unique. We do not see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. People see and experience life through their own mind and senses and from their own unique perspective and awareness level. This does not change the truth. The physical world will never change, it cannot change and still exist, but the way you perceive it can. Perception and perspective determine how clearly and truly you see life and how fulfilling or unfulfilling life is for you. Knowing the ultimate truth makes it possible for people to see life clearly and to be filled by it. You cannot control life, but you can change the way you see life. Animals other than man are more fulfilled, because they have less mind blocking life, but they are stuck with the perspective and perception they are born with. We, human beings, can greatly improve our perception by learning the ultimate truth. All the problems we have stem from people not knowing the truth of life. Unhappy, people look around and think, why are there so many people that are unhappy? We have progressed so far, yet people are still unhappy. Why isn't this world the wonderful place it could be? Changing the world doesn't change us. It does not matter how much we progress materially, it will not change anything. Only learning and seeing the truth will change us, and thus change everything. The truth transforms a mortal man into an immortal spiritual being. It does this because the truth just shows you what you truly are, and that changes everything. The truth does the same thing for the way we see the world and for the same reason. It shows you life clearly, it shows you true life for the first time. True life is perfect, you can see and experience a perfect life, because that is the way life actually is. Our imperfect minds mess it up. It is hard to believe from your current perspective and level of awareness, but it is your own mind that makes life imperfect. The universe has to be perfect to exist. You do not have to believe it, you can know it. The present, it is interesting that the now is called the present. The present is the ultimate gift, it is the gift of truth and life. You are given the present every second, and you will receive it forever. The present is the only thing that exists, the only thing you are ever conscious of. Your life is a series of presents moving through time. The future does not exist until it becomes the present. Life is one perpetual present. Creation is happening now. Your body, mind, and the world around it are being created from microsecond to microsecond. Things may look the same, but they are not. Everything is constantly changing and being recreated. Our life and our world is being created from moment to moment. Life and everything in it is always new. People think that they are not good looking enough, young enough, thin enough, smart enough, rich enough, etc. They live on the edge of the circle and just go around and around forever, lost in the illusions of their minds. Greener grass, the concept of past, future, and a distorted perception of the present keeps people running for the greener grass on the other side of the fence. They miss the present in the process. Chasing the horizon, it is like running after the horizon. The faster you go, the faster it moves away from you. One day, you realize that you are standing on it. What you were running after is where you already are and always will be. All people want is what is in the present, but they do not know it because they have never opened it. Almost no one knows what the present really is. 7. The present has to be our goal, because it is the only thing that exists. The big tease, your mind will open up part way from time to time to give you a taste of true life, and then take it away. It will attach the open moments to things that are hard to do, like things that cost a lot of money, things that are difficult or dangerous, or things that the mind considers to be new or special. Your mind makes you pay for life in one way or another, and never lets you have it for free. A fulfilling life is always free and always available once you know the truth. Fulfilled, it is the way we feel when our minds are completely open to life. We become filled with life. Being filled with life makes you feel the way you want to feel all the time. Fulfillment is true happiness. Doctors say that you feel good or happy because of the release of chemicals in your brain that make you feel good. This is true. Chemicals such as endorphins, adrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine make you feel good, but they do it by just allowing you to feel a little true life. Like all drugs, the effect is temporary, and it has a balancing downside. The ultimate truth is not temporary and has no downside. No drugs are necessary. In this animal realm, physical pain and pleasure will come and go, but you can always be filled with life, fulfilled, once you know the truth. Freedom, if you tie your fulfillment to things that happen in your environment, you are at the mercy of the constantly changing environment. You will only get a taste of fulfillment when things go your way, when you win or get what you want. Spiritual people are fulfilled when they lose. If you do not attach your fulfillment to what happens in your environment, you can be fulfilled no matter what happens. True freedom is having the ability to be fulfilled independent of what happens in the environment. Almost no one is free now. Only the truth will set you free. Being free means being free of the mind that hides true life from people. 8. Instant gratification. Why put requirements on feeling good? True life is being given to us all the time, we just have to let it in all the time. True life is instant and complete gratification that costs nothing. Being free is in your head. The secret, most people know you do not need things or things to happen to be happy, be fulfilled, but most people do not know how it works. The secret is opening your mind. Without thought and negative emotions, the same thing happens that happens when you get what you think you want. You become as sensual as you can possibly be, you become your senses. You can feel better than you would feel if you just won the lottery every day. Why not? It is just a state of mind, or state of no mind. It is your life, Just take what is coming to you. You can be fulfilled whenever you want. The present is for you. Being fulfilled, being filled by life all the time, is the true goal of mankind. Everything that people do, directly and indirectly, good and bad, is to be fulfilled by life. Once you know the truth, you can skip all the things and just be fulfilled. Empty, as shown in the drawing, the mind makes it impossible to know reality, true life, and to be fulfilled. The present with the mind blocking and distorting it is not fulfilling. It leaves you empty and full of desire for something to fill the emptiness. The things the mind does to try to fill the void just block life more. The more people run towards what they think they want, the more they miss it. Something missing, people feel that something is missing, because something is missing, true life is missing. The door, your mind is like a door, and for most, it is currently closed. You have to have a truly open mind to learn the truth and experience true life, the present. 9. That which is, the literal meaning of the word truth is that which is. The living truth equals that which is. That which is equals the present. The truth of the past equals that which was. The truth of the future equals that which will be. You can only truly know that which is, because now is the only thing that exists. The past is a memory or a story. The future is just an educated guess. You can only know the true past and what the true future will be by knowing that which is possible. If you know how life works, you will know everything. Definition of ultimate truth, it is knowing the truth of life. It is knowing the fundamental, eternal laws of nature, and the nature of the mind which distorts and hides the truth. It is an accurate and complete understanding of that which is. You do not and cannot understand every detail of life and do not have to. You just have to understand the big picture, the fundamental nature of life. This truth never changes, because that which is can never change. It cannot change and exist. When you know life completely, you become life completely. Self-evident, there is nothing easier to know than the truth, because it is life itself. It is nothing more and nothing less. The truth is the present, the now. It is all true, the truth is simply everything there is, everything that truly exists. If it does not exist, it is not the truth, if it does, it is. That which is everything except for the deceptions created by the mind. The truth is incontrovertible, malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. Winston Churchill. 2 + 2 = 4, it does not equal anything else. The truth is, there is only one truth. Believing 2 + 2 = 5 or 6 or anything else does not make it true. There are an infinite amount of wrong answers, but only one true answer. Hope/belief, believing and hoping something is true or going to be true does not make it true, if you do not start with the real truth. It is the truth, or it is not. There is no way to make something that is not true, true. There is only one truth. Faith, in and of itself, belief, faith, hope, wishing, good luck charms, holy relics, symbols, positive thinking, good intentions, praying, curses, voodoo, magic spells, fortune tellers, psychics, etc. do not do anything except make people feel like they have some control over life. They are just coping strategies. If you believe a fairy tale or myth is true, you will not live happily ever after. People that currently have faith and belief in a myth are a force against the truth. Believing in things that do not exist is the worst thing you can do. 10. Religious people want to believe so badly, they will ignore scientific evidence, reason, common sense, and their own better judgment. Religions have perverted the meaning of the word truth. The Webster's Dictionary definition below says what the word means. Truth, being in accord with fact or reality. Many things religious people say they believe are not in accord with fact or reality. They are myths, superstition, hope, not truth. To say it is truth is a lie. True or false? In other words, most of the world's traditional religions are spreading lies and many know it, which in addition to being liars makes them dishonest hypocrites. The ones that do not know they are lying think they are doing the will of their God, when in truth, they are doing the will of the enemy of their God, Satan, who is defined in their holy books as the great deceiver, the king of all lies. The real truth unites people, it does not divide them. It makes sense, and it applies to everyone, everywhere, all of the time. It creates clarity, not confusion. The truth leads to real equality, freedom, peace, love, and understanding. The real truth only asks you to believe in something you can check for yourself. Anyone who cares about the truth enough to check what it is will know the truth. Those who do not care enough will not learn the truth and will be lost and deserve to be lost. Monkey see, monkey do. Most people just tell people what they have been told the truth is. They just accept what others say the truth is, especially if it is what people have been accepting as the truth for thousands of years. It is monkey see, monkey do. Second-hand truth should not be believed or repeated without checking it out for yourself. The age of playing follow the leader is ending now. Second-hand truth is called hearsay in a court of law, and it is not admissible for an important reason: it has proven not to be a dependable source of the truth. What could be more irresponsible than saying something is true without knowing beyond a reasonable doubt that it is true? Billions of people are doing it. Do not believe what anyone says, including me. Check things for yourself. You have to see the truth yourself in life itself to know it. You are at what could be the end of a very long and difficult quest. You now have the opportunity to complete the quest and leave the animal realm forever. The only real difference between mankind and other animals is our ability to reason and think. Thus, reason has to be what we have to use to evolve further. We have to use what sets us apart from other animals. The truth. You now know the truth part of the truth in life. There are only 5 fundamental things you need to know, and they are the following. 1. Our true history. 2. You are immortal. 3. Everything will balance. 4. You are a spiritual being. 5. The present is everything. 11. Like water, the 11 pages you just read explain the truth of life, but just reading the 11 pages is not enough, it is just the start. The truth is like water, and it will slip through your fingers. You need to read this whole book and do the things the book says to do to hold on to the truth and benefit from it. Repetition. If something is repeated, it makes a bigger impression and changes your brain more, changes your inner environment more. Thus, the more repetition, the better. That is why I repeat some things many times and say the same thing many different ways. TV advertisers repeat commercials for this reason. As a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. Henry David Thoreau. Simple. It is important to simplify the way you see and know life. It is the only way it can be known. It can be almost infinitely complicated, and trying to understand it all is what mankind is trying to do. We have to go the other way and see and know it in the most simple way, because it is the only way we can know all that can be known. We can never know all the details, they are infinite and it is impossible, but we can know the simple big picture of life. That is what this book attempts to do. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not one bit simpler. Albert Einstein. What is said in this book is not just a theory, it is what the evidence says. It is truth you can check, and that makes it the real truth and the only truth. You just have to check it out for yourself so you know it and remember it until it sinks in. It has to go deep into your subconscious. You have to see the truth in every moment without thinking about it, you have to know it intuitively. Without the truth, there can be no real morality, justice, equality, unity, success, freedom, love, security, peace, spirituality, or even survival. Only the truth can stop the wars and make the world the paradise it can be. Friend to all, it is important to understand we do not want to hurt anyone or anything. We want to fix people and institutions that are flawed, that are sick and infected with BS. We just have the medicine, the cure. We want everyone to get better, especially the bad guys. We are not anyone's enemy, we want to make love, not war. When the people living in the dog-eat-dog animal world, playing the power game, the get rich and famous game, see the truth of life, they will realize that they are their own worst enemy. They will change, because it is in their best interest to change. They will change for selfish reasons, which is fine as long as they see the truth of life and get on the path to a paradise on earth. Common denominator, the truth is the only thing that can unite all human beings. It is what we all have in common, and that will never change. There is only one sky for all of us. Everyone eats, breathes, is born and dies, etc. The ultimate truth is universal truth, it is the same for everyone, everywhere. It always has been and always will be. We can now know the truth about life and death. The difference between knowing and not knowing is checking. Nothing could be more simple. If you care enough about the truth to check what it is, you will know the truth of life. The sad truth is, most people do not care, and mankind and our world are being destroyed as a result. If you care, now is the time to prove it. If everyone looked at the big picture of life, we would see the same thing. This simple thing would unite human beings, and we would live in paradise. Reason, we can now use our ability to reason, deductive logic, and extrapolation of the known evidence to know and understand things the evidence does not reveal directly, such as life after death. We have progressed enough to know and understand the fundamental truth of life. It will transform us in our world. Life knowing life is the way.